Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a brand new reading. This one was suggested by my viewer Race B, and she asked if our spirit guides and our guardian angels ever get mad at us. I think that's a brilliant question. And I could start this by going right in and saying, now the Bible, in Christianity anyways, I don't know what the other religious texts say, but when describing what love is, they call it patient and kind, slow to anger, things like that. And now you could say that God is love, or spirit is love. Therefore, spirit must be patient, kind, slow to anger. And, that sounds right. But I do just want to know if there are ever times where our spirit guides do get upset at us. So we're going to look right in. Today I'm switching it up a little bit. I'm going to be using my Housewives Tarot because I just feel like I need to change up my deck once in a while. So, do our angels and guides ever get mad at us? And Spirit, what can you tell us about that? Spirit, when do you get mad? Or do you ever get mad? Some really good questions. Okay, well, first of all, right there is the Temperance. That's patience. That's patience. Spirit sees us the way that a lot of parents see their little kids. Yeah, sometimes they get themselves into trouble, but we still love them. You know what? You did this and now you have consequences. These are your consequences, but know that I love you and I'm doing this for you, to you, so that you will learn. And it's because I love you, I want you to learn. Spirit has that same attitude towards us. Okay, but are there times, put these back in the deck, are there times where Spirit gets mad at us? Our spirit guides get mad or angry or frustrated. They can become very fatigued. Not like physical fatigue, but maybe more just emotional fatigue. That's what Two of Wands is talking about in this particular deck. Because they see us burning ourselves out and it makes them... It's like, okay, Spirit wants me to go back to the little kid analogy again. Watching a little kid like running up and down a hill or running back and forth, zip zoom across the yard over and over and over, and they're enjoying it or whatever, they're having a blast, but mom is sitting on the deck with her iced tea and she's not actually tired watching him, but she goes, oh my gosh, it makes me exhausted just looking at him. Sometimes Spirit watches us busy ourselves in life and become overwhelmed with all the tiny little details that come with life on earth, things that Spirit wouldn't necessarily see as terribly important, but they understand that some things are very important to us. So sometimes they get a little bit fatigued, maybe like just emotionally, just from watching us burn ourselves out sometimes. Making the same bad decisions over and over and over again is something that they can get very tired of seeing us do. Anything else that we can know about this? Again, Empress, again, with this like motherly energy that Spirit has, or like parently energy. I don't know, but I don't pick up at all that they get mad in the way that us people get mad. I have the Star here. This shows like they're very proud. They're very proud of us. They're not always proud of the things we do. They're not always proud of our choices. They wouldn't be proud if I went and insulted somebody and, put them on blast publicly or privately. That's just an example. Spirit would not be proud of me for doing that. But what would happen? Okay, so what happens when we make bad choices? How do our spirit guides feel when we make bad choices in life? Oh, well. Okay, Hermit in reverse. They see it as we've lost touch with who we are as a spiritual being. So back to the example of me like insulting somebody, let's just say. Spirit would look at me and go, like, what? First of all, this is just something that my spirit guides, I think, would say to me personally, because I just heard it come in, was, what are you doing? Why would you do that? And it's not like they're saying it to be condescending or rude or angry, but it's like disappointed. They get disappointed when we make bad choices because it sometimes shows that, oh, you're out of touch with who you really are as a spiritual being. You're out of touch with who you are as love and light incarnate. Sometimes I say sometimes, but just kind of throughout this reading off and on, I heard the word righteous anger. So I'm going to look at that in a second, but just to finish answering what our guides do and how they feel when we mess up and make a bad choice, they allow natural consequences. They allow natural consequences. They will not block us from experiencing, like I said, natural consequences of our actions. Because that's going to help us to hopefully learn to do better and be better in the future from now on, kind of a thing. There are some situations where spirit is like, you cannot keep doing what you're doing. Maybe somebody is making choices that really hurt them or really hurt others, or is just living in such a way that wasn't part of their purpose. It's just harmful to them. There's some cases where spirit will go, that's enough. And it's not like they're angry at that soul or that person. They're just angry at this. I think this is where the righteous anger comes in, at some of the circumstances. And then spirit will then decide, you know what, we're going to step in now and sort of turn you in the right direction, or we're going to put something in front of you on your path that's going to help you. Okay. But now righteous anger, like I was hearing, sometimes spirit feels upset and angry about some, not necessarily at us, but sometimes at some of our choices or some of our circumstances. Now, what are some things that would make spirit feel this like righteous anger? And they're saying, like, use that term kind of loosely, because the anger spirit experiences is not the same necessarily as the anger we experience, although they understand what our anger feels like. Their anger is leans towards disappointment and concern. That's what the energy feels like to me. It just leans more towards disappointment and just like worry. But what kind of things? All right, let's see. What kind of things will make spirit feel that way, that kind of angry? When you've worked hard on something and out of your control, somebody else sabotages it, or some external force sabotages it. Watching people do harmful things to themselves and others. And you know what? That really goes in with the working on something as somebody sabotages it. Like, spirit was going to go, I was going to pull all these different cards for like all these different examples. And then spirit just was like, here's the devil card. This will sum it up. Also, 8 of Cups is on the bottom of the deck. And in this deck, she's exhausted. This lifestyle of, unhealthy choices, could be physically unhealthy, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, doing things that abuse yourself and others and just exhaust you, that makes spirit feel like frustrated, disappointed, concerned, worried. And one way it kind of wraps up into what we could consider anger. But they don't get mad at us really the way that other people might get mad at us. Or even going back to the parent-child, no, not allegory, analogy. Even then, Spirit says, like, even the way that sometimes our parents maybe got mad at us in the past when we did something dangerous, or if you're a parent, sometimes the anger or frustration you might feel when you catch your kid doing something dangerous, or you find out that your kid did something that harmed someone else or whatever. Spirit says, like, in Spirit, they don't experience things like wrath. They don't hold grudges. Just look at some more information, because I just had a couple of cards fall out here. Okay, so yeah, Spirit wants us to learn from our darkness, our poor choices. They want us to learn from the bad things that happen to us. They do feel sad when bad things happen to us outside of our control, things that we did not bring on ourselves. And of course, if we do bring something bad upon ourselves, they don't celebrate. They go, okay, well, now she knows. Now we need to make sure that she understands why this happened and what happened, and that it was the effect of whatever thing she caused. Spirit wants to help us to grow. Page of Cups. They have this patience for us because to them, we are like children. Oh, and you know what? Here, look it. I had the Empress on the bottom of the deck, and I have the Emperor that I had just pulled a couple minutes ago. There is just a very strong parental kind of energy. So, I hope that answers the question: do our guardian angels or spirit guides, does God ever get mad at us? The answer is not really, not in the same way that people get mad. Spirit's type of mad is more disappointment and concern, because they want to make sure that we're always on our best path and that we are constantly learning and growing. They want to make sure that we don't become stuck in a loop of like stagnation, or a loop of making poor choices, dealing with consequences, feeling bad about the consequences, so you make more poor choices. They don't want us to get stuck in spirals of things like just continuous pain, addiction, suffering, things like that. So their type of anger is just more disappointment and concern. Very parental energy that surrounded this whole reading. They're bringing me back to the whole parent-child thing again. We're doing this because we love you. We want you to know what the best way to behave is. We want you to know how to be your best. And sometimes being your best person means accepting consequences and owning up when you're wrong or make a bad choice. But the Spirit doesn't they don't get mad at us, not like, oh, you dumb bitch. Like, they never do that. There are times where I've made choices in life and I have felt my spirit guides go, oh, like, what? They get sometimes like, what are you doing? Like, they can, but it's not genuine anger. No, it's just concern. And sometimes they watch us and they kind of laugh because they know we're going to be okay. But it's just so loving. It's so loving in the spiritual realm. They don't have anger towards us the way we would have anger towards each other or ourselves as human beings. So I hope that answered the question. If you liked this video, please make sure to like it and subscribe to Sienna Rose Metaphysical. Hit the notifications bell, and that way you will always be alerted when I put up a video like this, or I do a stream, or I put a post in the community section on my channel. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you in my next upload.